Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the NFT Morning Show, Thursday, November 16th. Today, we are going to discuss the continued surge in gaming NFTs, whether or not we should be concerned about the pullback in Ethereum NFT volume, and last but not least, the upcoming token airdrops that people should be paying attention to. So a lot to dig into today for sure. Wanted to give a quick Bodoggos shout out to Finn. So Finn has been crushing Web3 gaming content for a while. That's Finn spelled P-H-I-N. He's got a badass Bodoggo. If you see him, he's actually the head of socials for Axie Infinity and Ronin Network. He hosts various video and Twitter spaces talking about Web3 gaming, and he's continuing to build out his gaming network. Dare I say it, I think he's one of the kind of most prominent Web3 gaming content creators at this point. You see him do a lot of stuff with Jonah. You see him do a lot of stuff on his own. He makes some really good stuff. Follow him on Twitter at Finn_Totten. So that's at PHIN_TOTTEN. He knows what's up when it comes to Web3 gaming. He is involved, or he's in Wolves DAO. He's involved with Pudgy Gaming. He is making moves in this space for sure. Absolutely a young talent to pay attention to on the Web3 gaming side and just the Web3 content creation side in general. Nick?
I mean, is this a Finn ad? Like, what's going on here? Maybe we have a conversation about him. Maybe we do a little something more organic next time. Talk about Finn. I mean, geez, Louise. Did he write that script? Did he give it to you? Did he tell you to read that off? I can't even get let on stage anymore. The disrespect I have in this.
You're not getting let on stage. You're not getting let on stage for sure.
Apparently now I'm a co-host of the space, so whatever.
Clemente, is your camera not working right now? What's going on?
It is working.
I don't know what's going on, guys. I've been having a rough morning. It was a troublesome morning as I had more than I expected to do, and I did not wake up early enough. But we're getting through it. I will be setting up my camera shortly.
Okay.
I'm in the process of waiting for my French press to steep here, Pio. I'm not drinking a bucket of decaf every morning. I'm experimenting with various coffee methodologies.
You're gonna drink enough decaf that it is caffeinated.
That is true. That's the goal. So in terms of one other thing, well, actually, no, I think it's not half calf. I think it's less than that. So you could have like 4 cups of decaf. And
I hope it's less than half. I mean, if they're saying it's decaf and it's got half as much caffeine,
67% of the caffeine.
Ladies and gentlemen, Nick just wanted to spend like $150, so he bought like a legit coffee setup, like an actual legit. I mean, I was pushing him to get a better grinder. I got a $100 grinder, right? So I'm opinionated about coffee grinders.
I have 2 grinders right now. Okay,
well, that's one way to do it.
I went to Target. And I was just like, I need a grinder like today because it kept getting delayed on Amazon. And I'm just like, this is so stupid. So I walked over to Target, got one for like $15. You were talking about the noise. It is loud, but I kind of like it.
Well, when you have $100 grinder and you're grinding coffee, you can just feel that the grinder cost $100. You're like, this is clearly $100 grinder. Like the way it grinds is just, it's immaculate.
Well, you sound like you work for the coffee grinding institution. So that's pretty ridiculous.
We call it Big Coffee, Nick. Please come correct.
Yeah, I work for Big Coffee for sure. The brand of the grinder is Capresso. Now, because I was surprised, I brought up the olive oil. Signal wasn't here. I brought up the olive oil that I use because Nick, or maybe Signal was here when Nick was talking about
when the Brian Johnson olive oil. You said not to buy and buy Partana.
Partana, yeah. So some people bought it. Nick bought it, but other people were buying it too.
I'm gonna be honest. So I got I don't like it as much as. There's another olive oil that I'm big on. I'm pulling it up right now. What it's called?
Where's it from?
Costco, 64 ounces for $3.
Yeah. It's from Italy. Cola Vita. Cola Vita.
Everyone knows that brand.
I love the taste of it, man. I think it tastes great. there's definitely varying flavors. The one that you have is not as good, but it's still I mean, both of these are quality olive oils. But I like myself Cola Vita.
I'm going to look up if Cola Vita is fake olive oil, because it could be, but we'll find out. It very well could not be, too. It could not be fake olive oil for sure.
It's from Italy.
No, I know, but a lot of the from Italy olive oil brands are fake olive oil. Bunny has his hand raised. Bunny, what's going on?
I got $100 grinder too.
Do you really?
Yeah, a weed grinder. Grinds their own coffee, dude. What Dunkin' Donuts does it for you, man.
If you want to understand the type of coffee we got going on here, I sampled this new coffee to my girlfriend the other day, and I was like, what do you think? And she was like, I still prefer the Dunkin' Donuts Keurig pods that you have. So yeah, sounds like I actually like this new one like a lot. It's a decaf one, but I'm thoroughly enjoying it. I'll find the name of it. The other thing I was gonna say, it's called a Counterculture Coffee.
That sounds like a trendy brand for sure. So I was messing with this for a long time. This is Colombian. You buy this at Restaurant Depot. It's like brandless or whatever. But I don't want to go to Restaurant Depot anymore because it's like a pain in the ass to go there. So I'm trying to find a reasonably priced alternative. So I got this joint right here, Comfort Coffee, right? But it's from El Salvador.
You got to have it block your eyes if you want it to focus. Just a quick tip.
So if I like this, I'm only getting this for me and my mom forever because it's El Salvadoran, and I want to support El Salvador and their pursuit of becoming a Bitcoin nation.
El Salvadorian.
El Salvadoran. Clemente, is it El Salvadoran or El Salvadorian?
I have no idea.
Your audio's messed up too. What are you doing over there? Did you have a bender last night?
Nah, dude, he started packing. He's just getting ready.
Dude, all right. No, I had a meeting at 8 p.m. last night with someone from Singapore, and my camera wasn't working. I went to bed too late because I was
8 p.m. meetings that you're having, dude. Talk about that. And you're not sending me a text to let me know that you're working at 8 trying to get that bonus tip.
It's not like you're gonna respond either way. So
yeah, dude. Clemente will text him. The response will be Nick's phone is on do not disturb. That's the best. That's the best reaction you get.
I was up last night. I finished.
Clemente,
Go ahead.
no, I was gonna say, Clemente, I hope you're moving to Miami, because like that apartment that I saw on your Twitter, like if I was a chick coming back, I'd be really happy with your Miami place. Your New York place, I would just walk in and go right back out. I would just be like, yeah, I'm going back out.
Bastard,
I'm going back to the bar. I'm going back to the bar.
Are you speaking about that as a 26-year-old or 25-year-old who's walking back to his place?
That's older than Clemente. He'd be going for older ladies.
21-year-old who's still in college.
Even at 25, I had standards, man. I had standards at 25. All I'm saying is Miami, that apartment looked awesome. So I agree on the Miami move, by the way.
There was one other thing I wanted
real
to say.
Quick, Nick, I just want to point out, like women mature better, like way faster than men. So like for sure, the Signal has a point. The 23-year-old girls, 22-year-old girls are going to care about it with Clemente. The only girls that don't mature like that are white girls. So if he's taking home the white girls, it's a different story.
By the way, that's not an indicator of maturity. That's an indicator of money expectations, which are two completely different things. There's plenty of complete dumb women who actually have really high expectations from a money standpoint, young and dumb, who still want you to have a ton of money. What is their value offer to the world? It's literally just like, so I don't completely fall into that camp. Having a material understanding of the world is not an indicator of one's value or maturity. That's what I'm saying. So that someone said that's racist. I'm just letting you know that, well, the correct term would be sexist, but it's not sexist. I'm letting you know
they were saying my comment was racist when I said white girls didn't have standards. It's a pretty racist comment.
That is actually okay. Sorry, my apologies. The last thing I was going to say was there's another Bodoggo that we haven't shouted out. Clemente, can you pull up Jassim, who came with us to Amsterdam and shot all the footage that we had? Like, this guy is also creating a bunch of content. He's experimenting with video content. He also skateboards really well. He's going out just doing grinds. Like, I mean, that's
Dude,
just
half board manuals and shit. Like, I watch his clips every time. I'm like, this dude is fucking dope. Like, this is cool.
Yeah.
This shit is cool.
Like, he's actually good at skateboarding. He's way cooler than us. Well,
yeah, he's definitely cooler than I am.
I'm not speaking for Easy, but Easy's insulted by that statement. But I just
But
thought
he's way cooler than me. Jassim is way cooler than me.
Can
He
you
has
give
an
a-
accent.
Yeah, dude, you can't top this guy. Videographer, skateboarder, content creator. Dude's cool.
So here's the Jassim. You got to follow him on Twitter as well. Or sorry, are we fully off Twitter?
X platform.
Yeah, but when I go to the site, it's still twitter.com.
He threw your face on a thing. Jassim is a very talented videographer, just a talented filmmaker in general. The B-roll that he shot in Amsterdam was better than mine, and it's very hard for me to admit when people are better than me at like creative crafts. So there you go, and that's the truth. The stuff he shot was definitely better than me. So real quick, Clemente wants us to cover the photo shoot. That they thought that the photo shoot that we did yesterday with the new product, the new Bodoggos product, was just at Nick's apartment. So Nick, I don't know if you're aware of this. They thought that the common area of my building, like the common area that anybody in the building can use, was just your home. Are you processing that?
No, I remember people saying this is my. I didn't want to even comment on it and just have people expect that Nick, the trust fund baby, is literally owns this apartment. How baller would that be?
The square footage on that, it's like like what is the square footage? It's like a warehouse. This is like this is a portion of the floor of my building. Nick's house looks sick. It's not Nick's house, man. It's it's the office of my building.
Why did you need to disclose that? Like, did you like, maybe there were all the people who do have a material understanding of the world, like you're saying, Pio, and apparently none of them are white, according to Pio, which is a whole other. I don't understand what that is. Like, what? I've met plenty of white women who have high material expectations, Pio. I'm just letting you know, like that. So that's just like, I don't even know where that comes from. That said, none of those people are wearing Uggs, which is like literally all of the women that live in like Midtown East sort of direction that I would say, which is like a walk
Murray Hill.
Yeah, Murray Hill. I don't know that they have high material expectations. They do for their husbands.
Okay.
You know, that's the expectation. And that's if the category that you fall into. I don't know if Clemente, when he's dating right now, women are looking at him for husband material. You know, I just don't know.
Definitely not.
Yeah. So, okay. So then I don't think in that category it really matters the apartment to a large degree. Like, I just feel like they're just like, I had too many drinks. And they that's that.
Clemente's one night stand material at the moment. Like, in a good way. In a good way. Disposable tissue, but in a good way. And write it out while you can, Clemente, because you're going to mature into a good husband later.
Only thing I'll say is I went on this date recently where this girl lived in like east of Brooklyn. I forget what the neighborhood was called, but it straight up took me like 40 minutes to get there. And I left.
40 minutes isn't beyond Brooklyn, so I don't know what that even. What does east of Brooklyn mean? Are you
East
talking about
of Brooklyn?
So
East
Brooklyn's
Brooklyn,
here,
I don't know what it's
east
called.
of it.
Anyways, the story I was trying to say is I almost got jumped. Like, I was walking through the trenches at night. It was like a 15-minute walk, and I'm going through some sketchy neighborhood. I was like, damn, dude, I'm tough.
Are you going straight to her apartment?
No.
So you had a first date at her apartment?
No.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Did she live in Queens? We have all the New Yorkers in the audience not understanding east of Brooklyn. You mean the borough of Queens? That's quite far.
I'll look it up. I'll get the location.
You got to
for
go
guys.
through so many text messages and dates that you've been on in order to find it. I understand. Do you even know what her name was?
Yeah, I don't want to say it. Yeah.
Her first name.
Anyways, I shouldn't have brought this up. Moving on.
Last comment here, totally unrelated. I just want to throw out good show on Apple, the morning show. I had not watched any of it. Basically, I went and watched the first season. It's really good. It turned out to be way better than I anticipated. It is a good show. I think I would dare to bet, Pio, that you may actually enjoy it if you stick through it for the arc of the story. It's a solid series.
I love good shows. Beef was a phenomenal show. Beef was borderline a
beef level. It's not at beef level. Beef is like way more like on the vibe.
Oh, Beef was like borderline, like a creative, life-changing show for me. As soon as I finished it, I was like, all right, cool. I guess I have to watch every interview with this director that's on the internet. Like, oh, I guess I have to sit here and just find every interview with this director and fucking study it. Anyway, let's dive in here to the weather report in just a second. Just want to mention that we're teaming up with our partners at Shrapnel. You've heard us talk about Shrapnel all month and last month. You're going to hear us keep talking about Shrapnel. And we're going to give away 2 more operators, which are their profile picture. They're worth over 0.2 Ethereum each. So if you've already purchased an extraction pack or you plan to in the next 24 hours, you can enter by replying to the pinned tweet with a screenshot of your extraction pack, and we'll pick the 2 winners tomorrow. If you haven't bought an extraction pack, you can do so right now. Go to thenifty.com/shrapnel. That's thenifty.com/SHRAPNEL. Use the promo code NIFTY, NIFTY, for 30% off. And these packs are going to give you early access to the game and win prizes, weekly drops, and more that can't yet be revealed, ladies and gentlemen. Lastly, if you've purchased a heavy pack, comment heavy with your screenshot attached. We're testing something out for a fun activation that we're going to be doing soon. Wink, 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 wink. So that's if you purchase the heavy pack, the $99 pack, comment heavy with your screenshot attached, because we are testing something out for something that's coming soon.
That was too many winks.
That was too many winks?
Yeah, dude, I mean, that was a lot of winks. Like if it when someone's at 4 winks, dude, I feel like
it's pretty creepy.
The expectations is pretty high, and you're setting up. I don't like to set expectations. I don't like people to it's fine if they speculate. In the case of Bodoggos holders, they speculate for all of about max like 2 hours. Like that's how long that's the max holding time that people are willing to hold the Bodoggos for. They're like, shit, nothing's happened in the past 2 hours. I gotta get out of here. I'm gonna go spend 20 times as much on a Mad Lad is the path. By the way, I would like to talk Mad Lads at some point on today's show.
Talking NFTs would be sick today. That would be awesome. That would be so badass of us.
You don't want to talk about coffee?
Yeah, I'm pretty good. Or East Brooklyn. Pretty good on both topics.
Clemente has no New York City like geography understanding right now. He's just like
leave to Miami immediately. I'm like
this is a West Coaster that came to New York and is understanding this is real life over here. It's not the
this is real life right here out in the
this is
street,
not the Fifi West Coast, amigo.
Your
like things are actually
$3,000 a month apartment that you're living in. Yo, this is hard, man. You're $3,000 living by yourself at a sub 25 life. It's hard, dude. Like I didn't live by myself till I was like 28. Actually, and I didn't live by myself technically. I moved in with a girlfriend from the other place that I was. So I didn't live by myself until a breakup. So I don't think I lived by myself till I was 35 or something like that, or 34. It was, and let me tell you what that experience was depression. Okay, so we can dive on to NFTs.
The East Coast is not any of that Fifi West Coast stuff. No, shout out to the West Coast. I used to live on the West Coast. Anyway, Signal.
Yeah, no, but throw it out for the West Coast,
Signal, let's cook. Weather report, por favor.
Por favor, here it comes. Thursday, November the 16th. You got that market volume. It's down 25%. We are at 12.4 million. Blur at 8. OpenSea at 3. We are very close to the season 2 airdrop of Blur. So let's see how volumes will change in the following weeks. NFT market leaders, well, despite the decline in volume, the leaders are holding pretty steady. Pudgy Penguins are back. They've been the only major mover, but they're up 7% after a fresh wallet swept 40 of them overnight. Other movers include Doodles, they're down 7%. The Shrapnel operators, I mean, guys, we've been talking about these for ages. They are up 61%. You got DeFi Apes, they're up 33%. And another matchy sweep came in as well. Creeps are also up 30% to 1.6 ETH. Over the past 24 hours, the biggest stories. Number one, BlackRock, we knew about this, but has officially filed for a spot ETH ETF, which was expected after last week after they registered the entity in Delaware, called the iShares Ethereum Trust. The Ethereum has not moved on the news, but it's still staying above 2,000, which is good. Over on the PFP side, we're going to talk about Mad Labs, but yesterday, the winner of the day was Mad Labs. The collection momentarily flipped DOGE. It was a conversation on the timeline. They flipped it in USD value as they reached 99 sol floor before pulling back to 91. The collection is nearing its all-time high of 105 sol from June when Solana was less than $20 as the momentum continues to build. Over on gaming on Mockaverse, they have announced the launch of its Web3 accelerator in partnership with Amazon Web Services and Polygon Labs, which is dedicating to building the Mockaverse ecosystem. They're going to offer masterclasses, exclusive mentorship, networking opportunities, and financial resources. Mockaverse still holding out 1.8 ETH floor, down slightly from 2.3 a couple of weeks ago. And then lastly, Jack Butcher is facing FUD on the Velocity series drop due to the recent announcement. There's going to be 2 separate collections. The first will be an open edition, minting for 0.069 ETH each for a 24-minute window during which the pass holders can mint for free. And then the second will be a 200-piece generative collection that will be sold via Dutch auction to Velocity Pass holders. Holders are not happy with this. They're disappointed, saying that this structure makes a Velocity Pass much less valuable to hold. The market agreed, and the passes have sold off, dropping 40% down to 4.6. That is all for the weather report. It is back to you folks in the studio.
Go ahead, Nick. I know you want to say something. Go.
It's all good.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, some updates from the Daily Digest. That was a fantastic weather report, by the way, by Signal, as usual. Daily Digest is posted to X platform every morning and pinned up top. It's emailed to anyone that subscribes at thenifty.com. First story, over 800,000 US dollars have been sent to 222.sol after a Twitter account named HGE with 92,000 followers tweeted, "Do not send anything to 222.sol." Easy. What's the story with this?
HG is 9x9x9. Same guy. Same exact guy. I sent 0.222 sol to him. Give me free money.
Look at that. You're about to get some free money. Next story, Looks Rare announces an infiltration game launching November 23rd with Looks token rewards and Ethereum token rewards available to the winners. NFT Inspect teases an INSP token coming this quarter. So it'll be very interesting. I mean, it's funny to tease something for Q4 2023 this week because there's like 6 weeks left in the year. So I guess it's coming imminently. Luca Nets teases 2 new Pudgy Penguins arcade games, which are expected to be ready in 2024. Very cool stuff. They look very cool. Want to talk about bull run things? Very, very decorated boxer Manny Pacquiao, one of the greatest of all time, announced a partnership with Shiba Inu. So that is a bull run thing. If I've ever heard of one, that is definitely an indicator of where we are at and whether we're back. The Moonbird Oddities burn has been completed, capping the total supply at 6,052 Moonbird oddities. These are by Gremlin, holding a 0.13 Ethereum floor. And then last but not, or 2 more stories. According to NFT Statistics, friend of the show and data, analyzer extraordinaire, Memeland has earned over $1 million in royalties since October. That is very impressive. He pointed out that Memeland, Captains, and Potatoes are the 2 top royalty NFT projects, and then 4 out of the next 8 are Yuga projects. So Memeland, 9gag, Captains, and Potatoes just dominating here on the royalties front. Oh, last one, and this one's super cool. A proof exclusive drop by artist Helena Sareen. I don't know if I'm pronouncing her name correctly. Minted out at 0.2 ETH that holds a 1 ETH floor with the physical claim starting next week. This artwork is badass, in my opinion. Very, very cool drop. Very dope. And the physical stuff is super duper cool too. Very, very cool stuff. I mean, I was thinking about it. If they're going to drop art that the market likes, all of a sudden that proof stuff is going to start pumping. If you're going to get access to this art that's going to pump in the market, imagine if you had an NFT that got you access to like all the art blocks drops in 2021, like Fidenza and Ringers. That's going to carry some value. So watch out for the proof ecosystem if that stuff's going to work. Anyway, those are your stories from the Daily Digest, posted to X platform and available for subscription at thenifty.com. If we're getting into stories from the weather report, AVAX Avalanche token is up 15% in the past 24 hours. Everybody on stage got some of that AVAX. Some people have. Oh, you called
it? Did you? Did you?
Easy's no longer here. Sorry, I called it.
Nick was spot on. He's been an AVAX bull for the last year and a half.
Pio was shocked when I was about to ape in. I only put in five grand. I think I
almost only put in 3.
Well, and I wanted to put in 10. I deposited 10 into the account. So big mess up there. Avalanche. I don't know about this Solana thing, but Avalanche, man, let me tell you, it's the future.
And my bags are so packed between AVAX and Solana. Like, I wake up every day and I just go to bed and wake up with just more cash. More cash. It's great. Just more cash. It's a beautiful thing. It's a good problem to have for once. Like, conviction on these alts, man, has just been paying off. It feels great.
I don't view Solana as an alt right now.
It still falls into it. I mean, it technically should be a major. The fact that all these major news outlets now got rid of Bitcoin Cash and Litecoin and decided to start putting Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana was like, when I started seeing that when Sol was $16, I was like, this is such a clear indicator that like it's not going anywhere. That mainstream media is like, these are the big 3 now. Screw Litecoin. We're done with Bitcoin Cash. It's Solana. I was like, all right, this narrative shift is happening literally in front of us.
I always never understood how they were like, even in the last run, how they were posting Litecoin. I was like, who the hell is buying Litecoin? I don't.
Well, peak bear, it was probably like February, March. Litecoin ran to like $92 again, just out of nowhere, just by itself. It was the weirdest thing to see.
It is one of those things that inevitably, like, there's a lot of people that are like, oh, you don't own token X, basically. And there's a million tokens out there. I mean, it would be smart to own, like, I don't know how PEPE is doing right now, but I think it's.
Oh, sorry. There was PEPE news last night, which I couldn't believe. Sorry, very quickly, because it's for the EU guys. If you have Revolut, you can buy PEPE on Revolut. Revolut is like Robinhood, and it's an amazing like financial app. And I didn't believe it at first. I went and checked it, and now you can. And the reason why I really like this is because, of course, they're gonna screw you over on the bid-ask spread. I'm sure they will, and there's probably a couple of fees in there. But last time PEPE pumped, the worst thing was exiting your position when the gas fees were astronomical on Ethereum. Like, they pretty much took out a good percentage of your profits. I haven't run the numbers, but I would expect that I'd probably end up paying less on the bid-ask spread in the Revolut app than I would have on high Ethereum gas fees. So it's bullish that it's on Revolut now.
Ethereum gas fees are so high. That's why we use Solana, because you don't have to pay those gas fees. Here's a hot take. I think normies are going to just keep buying Doge, amigo. I don't know about
Doge
PEPE.
is running right now. Have you looked at the Doge chart?
No, I don't have to look at it because I figured it'd be running.
Yeah, is this another one of those? Doge is up 8% and Pio goes, no shit, idiot.
I just think I could just totally see.
Can we discuss that tone? Can we discuss how all of Pio's tweets are in that tone? Do we think that that's like a good brand? Like, to be like,
You're so dumb, idiot, stupid, dumb moron. I'm right, idiot, bozo, idiot head.
I don't
It's like,
say that.
all right, dude. My bad, dude.
That is kind of the tone of those messages where Clemente, you were like, I was walking down the street with Clemente today, and he was like, Bitcoin's up 10%. And I was like, no, duh. No,
Dumbass.
duh.
Yeah, I was like, yo, PO, oh shit, yo, look at this, bro. Coinbase alert, plus 6%. He goes, no shit, dumbass. Let's.
No,
keep
I did
walking,
not
strap
say
on."
that. That's ridiculous. We were walking with my dog to get sandwiches. I did not call you a dumbass on the walk. I just didn't care. I did not. We were literally out to lunch at that time, and I did not care about a 6% pump on Bitcoin because I know that Bitcoin is going to go north of $100,000. It doesn't matter if it pumps by 6%. It doesn't matter if Solana pumps by 6%. That's a foregone conclusion. Dogecoin, I think that the normies are going to come through and they're going to say Doge to $1. That's what I think they're going to say. That's I could totally see a Doge to $1 war cry. I don't know if it's going to hit $1, but I feel like that's going to be this war cry that they're like Doge to $1, get Doge to $1. I feel like they tried to do it last time.
They try to do it every cycle.
You were betting that Bitcoin was definitively going over 150,000 last run because of what the rainbow chart that what's his name, Plan B.
Which technically the original one has not been invalidated, just saying. Technically.
Still going to the rainbow chart. But you put a deadline, you did put a timeline on it, and I just want to bring that back up. I mean, I appreciate the conviction. You could have sold a lot of it, bought it back at 80% off. And then
everybody that does that ends up with less Bitcoin in the long run. Everybody that does that ends up with less Bitcoin.
Well, there's a whole rallying cry against unfollowing PO due to this attitude, basically, at this point in the YouTube comments. So I just wanted to acknowledge that. Another token, no bias whatsoever. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, I just one question I wanted to ask. Izzy, you were so bullish on MATIC last time, the last run. I remember you and Kix was super bullish. Why are you more bullish on AVAX now than on MATIC?
So it's the same thesis I actually had with MATIC that didn't pan out. Like I'll lick my wounds here on some of the MATIC stuff because it was like I just saw them doing a ton of good BD stuff. And to be honest, like MATIC did have its day. It ran to like $1.60, $1.80, $2, etc.
Still doing BD stuff.
A ton. But that's also why I'm now way more excited about AVAX is because they're pushing heavier with BD for the first time in a while. They got a ton of really interesting stuff, and they're actually taking the subnet approach, which they've teased that you can spin up a subnet on AVAX in 3 clicks. So the ability to do it is much smoother than most other chains right now. And because of the adoption cycle we've currently seen with things like South Korea using HK Planet or SK Planet as a subnet, SHRAPNEL on a subnet, you have an esports team, TSM, using a subnet. So there was speculation that Amazon's chain was going to be an AVAX subnet. So you have these ones that are actually using AVAX's layer instead of just a partnership with the chain, which I was like, okay, this seems inherently more interesting to me. And then on top of it, a lot of games are building on AVAX with playable games right now. The speculation me and Kix had was you're going to have games coming up. And now it's like that shift of we're waiting for the game to the game is live already, which to me has been really, really interesting. And it kind of why I've shifted more of those bags there. I even posted yesterday, like I'm only holding 5 tokens at the moment: Sol, AVAX, Bitcoin, ETH, and HBAR.
So quick thing on the Polygon side. I mean, the token is up 2x in the past month. The other thing is they offer something similar with subnets, and there's a lot of companies that are doing that with announcements soon to be released, I think, on that front. So on that standpoint, they're both competitive. The distinction, I think, is more of, for someone like Easy, is the distinction of price action upside. So MATIC's all-time high is 250 right now, whereas AVAX is like 120 or something, or even
160.
Maybe, okay, so 160. So the upside there is 600% versus 200%, 2 all-time highs. I think that's the bias that exists around the token itself. But Polygon's still actively building, actively doing business development, building out partnerships. I've received a lot of comments from people that were like, why are you talking so much about Solana and not about Polygon? I'm not excluding Polygon, by the way. I just happen to be focused on the moment. Like right now, when I focus on something, I tend to just be like obsessive about it. And we just came back from Amsterdam where we were at a Solana conference. So if you're trying to understand where the bias comes from, there's also, we have an NFT on Solana. So there's inherently a bias there. I'd love to talk, the Mad Lads conversation rolls into that. Mad Lads is so heavily biased towards Solana, by the way. Like like they're all in on Solana. They think the future is Solana, and that's like the position that they're taking associated with that. But I don't believe that it's a winner take all market when it comes to these chains. That said, I think there's going to be 10 chains max that end up like having like really major impact, and the shift of every cycle, those chains adjust. So the first time, you remember Stellar? This was like a chain that existed back.
Stellar Lumens. You
can send transactions instantaneous on Stellar back in 2017, and so that's been around. That predated Solana, and I personally was pretty bullish on that one. Ripple was borderline instant as well.
But you got to remember too, where some of those target marketing efforts are going on. Like the big reason Solana has actually, in my opinion, been able to maintain relevancy post FTX is a community of psychopaths. Like, as crazy as it sounds, Twitter's so vocal about Solana that it helps it. Like, you have consumers that enjoy the application that push it so aggressively, and Stellar didn't have that same level of push. XRP does. The XRP army is terrifying. Between them and the Link Marines, I want no part of that war, man. I'm good.
The thing I was going to say associated with that, you pointed it out, the Twitter dialogue is so impactful on the overall narrative of all these different things. Just period. That's the way, and when you see a bunch of people talking about Solana, suddenly Solana became there was a lot of people transitioning to Solana.
I think the NFT boom helped it a lot too, because it was like not many people used it. And then people realized, oh, you can spin up these NFTs quickly and cheap. Was a big thing that led to people being like, there's no gas, the NFT bubble's blowing up, and Solana was in the right place at the right time, plus had FTX backing, doing a ton of marketing for it, and Sam going on record shilling the hell out of it. So you had like this early stage push for it.
Quick question for you, Easy. You had what was the name of the site that has the analytics for all the different chains?
DeFi Llama.
So DeFi Llama, that one was really interesting. I highly recommend checking it out. Basically what they have is they have rankings of all these different chains, and they have a comparison of features. And then they also have like top protocols. Polygon does have a broader reach than Solana at the moment. It's ranked 5th on here versus 6th. And they break it down specifically, obviously, because it's called DeFi Llama, heavily towards DeFi. They also have NFT marketplaces on there. Although it's interesting, like they point to only one as a protocol on there for DeFi. They have a lot of different things that are like where they do a great comparison for chains. So that's one to take a look at. There's a number of others that I think rank these. And in the case of DeFi Llama, they're looking at like TVL on these different chains and comparing them and ranking them, for example. And I think Polygon is way higher at this moment in time.
Yeah, Polygon's actually a great DeFi application. When you look at things like Aave, which is one of the leading lending protocols and DeFi platforms, tons of volume. Like Aave really actually helped accelerate the ETH DeFi boom in 2020. And Polygon was blowing up during that phase because of how much cheaper it was to do DeFi on Polygon as an L2 to ETH. And that's what led to a big upswing on it. But I think just where this conversation started was like, why am I now so bullish on AVAX? I definitely have a bias. Like I run nodes on some of these other subnets from 3L and more that never stopped working. So I was like, oh, this is great. Like in the bear, I was making like 200 a month, and now it's back up to like 600 to 700 a month by doing literally nothing. And there's like opportunities from that perspective where I think the node operating side of things for AVAX is really user friendly from like just a consumer standpoint to spin these types of things up. I did see Jay Lettuce Wrist, huge fan of him from the gaming side, comment that like AVAX subnets are not cheap. So it's these large, well-funded games that are spinning them up, or well-funded organizations, which is accurate. And I think that's also what helps play into the AVAX narrative is you see these big time titles getting this exposure and saying that it's on AVAX helps that narrative and the social sentiment of it all really push that messaging forward as like AVAX could be really win the gaming chain conversation.
Pio, there was something that you'd wanted to say.
Well, I was just going to say that today's show is in partnership with Shrapnel, and we're actually going to be giving away 2 more Shrapnel operators today, which are each worth 0.2 Ethereum. So you're talking about AVAX. You can look up how much 0.2 Ethereum is in AVAX, amigo, and it's probably a whole lot. I actually have no concept of how much it is because I don't pay attention to the price of AVAX, but I do own some. If you purchase, there you go.
It's probably like 18 AVAX. Pretty nice.
Pretty nice. If you've purchased an extraction pack or you plan to in the next 24 hours, you can enter by replying to the pinned tweet with a screenshot of your extraction pack. We'll pick the 2 winners tomorrow. If you haven't bought an extraction pack, then you can do so at the nifty.com/shrapnel. Use the code NIFTY for 30% off. These packs give you early access to the game so you can win prizes, weekly drops, and more that can't be revealed yet. Wink, wink. Lastly, if you purchase that heavy pack, comment heavy with your screenshot attached. We're testing something out for a very fun activation that we're doing soon. This is in partnership with Shrapnel, the highly anticipated Web3 game, maybe the most highly anticipated Web3 game. But yeah, I mean, look, you guys, if you want to keep talking about AVAX and stuff, we can do that. We can also talk about Mad Lads. It's up to you guys.
It's also airdrop season, baby. It's airdrop season right now. Next week is going to be free money everywhere. Pith is dropping on the 20th. Blur's dropping on the 20th. And NFT Inspect dropping Q4. Jupiter, one of the largest dexes, I think it's top 5 in volume right now, dropping in Q4. We got free money coming in for Q4.
Is the Inspect token going to be based on their broken ass ranking system? Because that would be biased to sell, and I'd be pretty disappointed if that was the case. Because I submitted a ticket and they never resolved it. I don't know if you check out like the Bodoggos ranking on there. Pio and I are not included on that list, FYI. And so it just seems like there's a miscalculation. I think Signal may be on there, but like
I don't think I've ever been on that platform ever.
You should connect your account because that's how they're gonna do the airdrop.
Easy. I got a question
It's
for you.
literally free.
Yeah, in connection with these airdrops. So obviously, like, people have started to see the Jupiter stuff, and there's a bit of FOMO around, like, oh no, have I missed it? You know, Blur has pretty much come to an end for season 2. Out of the ones you've mentioned, which ones can people still participate in if they want to participate in it because it's only the first round of the airdrop?
Yeah, so Jupiter's probably the biggest one because right now they're only giving out 10% of the rewards right now. So there's going to be 30% more still to come. We don't know the requirements. This one's all based on previous volume. That's the main one, though. They're going to come out with criteria following this 10% drop, which will open up more opportunities. And this was like the rough valuation, depending on market cap, fully diluted market cap. Of course, posting a chart with anticipated fully diluted market cap led to a bunch of people commenting and calling me an idiot because I, quote, didn't understand circulating supply. So that was a lot of fun. But this is just purely based on like what you can anticipate at a fully diluted market cap based on Uniswap being about 5 billion. And if this is 1/5, I was conservative with $1 billion as the highest tier. It'll be interesting to see though, because after this is going to be where a lot of people try to game this system, swapping tokens back and forth, running bots to automate it and just watch volume. They're going to have to get creative, but Jupiter's the main one. Pith is an oracle, so much like a chain link where it just gives you price points and lets on-chain exchanges know where to swap your tokens for. That's purely based, and that's already done. They're doing 100% of their allocation airdropped next week.
For Jupiter, is it already assigned or
yeah?
Damn,
already assigned. Yeah, so that snapshot supposedly happened, I think Q2 of this year is what they said. But like I said, there's going to be 30% more with upcoming tiers and stuff like that. So you're not going to be out of this one. Only 10% of their reward pool is going out. But what I think is actually going to happen here is there's going to be a lot more opportunity of other people trying to capitalize on airdrops. So when we saw like SOS drop on Christmas Day 2021, was it? I think it was 2021. That was huge. But shortly after, you saw 15 more tokens kick off. And right now, DeFi on Sol is where a lot of the focus is. Things like Drift Protocol has an upcoming token that's an on-chain exchange they have not announced details on. So if you're not farming that or using it, it's worth it. Sol Blaze is my big validator play. They just give Blaze token airdrops if you stake on there. So there's a lot of stuff you can still look at. And Sol right now seems like it's going through this DeFi summer-esque area of what ETH went through, where TVL's ramping, DeFi volumes ramping, farming opportunities are popping up constantly. And if I'm hesitant to buy NFTs because of SOL price running, lending out on some of these platforms could prove extremely, extremely lucrative without risking your bag.
So the Jupiter one is interesting. I use them. You directed me to them when I wanted to do leveraged trades, potentially illegally. I feel like they don't have.
Don't say it, Nick. We don't talk about it.
But the other thing that I was going to say is that's one other area. If you haven't installed a wallet like for Solana and you haven't like experimented on there, you got to go and do it. I think that's the biggest thing, because when you experience trading on Solana is just way better.
It's so much better.
That's the bottom line. It's way less confusing than like literally everyone's like, Nick's just hating on ETH recently. Look, I respect Ethereum. I've coded Solidity contracts here. And our site has an integration with it, and I still use it. We have an NFT on there, and we plan on having we have ETH NFTs. I'm still bullish on ETH, but you got to just try it out from the user experience side, because it's so much better. Clemente, Pio, and myself yesterday. I think Clemente yesterday was like, dude, I'm thinking of never trading an ETH NFT again, which is pretty extreme. But you would fall into the Solana sort of trader category, which is trying to make $20 a day because you lost so much on your ETH NFTs.
Well, so I went through this yesterday. I was trading a gaming NFT in the last 48 hours. I spent over $300 in gas fees in buying, staking, unstaking, and then selling the NFT into a bid. And I lost 15% on the actual trade. It was a disaster. So I'm just
the thing
saying,
with gas is like
money.
a gift and a curse, though. It's like, because with Sol, yesterday I watched one person trade 30,000 United States dollars on shitcoins for 47 cents of profit. I was like, dude, what is 47 cents? I was like, dude, what are you doing? Like, and some people were like, dude, I think he's just watching volume. Probably. But at the same time, I'm like, I don't know, man. This is pretty crazy to watch in real time happen. I went and like looked at it. I was like, what is this person doing? Because this just feels ludicrous to me at this point to be taking swings. That's well, it's shitcoins, so I don't think they're market maker. Like literally, like sub 100K market cap shitcoins with 8K TVL. I was just like, what are you doing? But it could just be volume, because Jupiter routes it all. So I think people are already starting to try to game that system. It's interesting.
A couple things. Someone said, has Solana fully solved downtime issues?
Yes.
Yes. The first thing is they haven't had downtime for a long period of time. But the other thing, they even acknowledged it in the keynote. You should go watch the keynote from Breakpoint. And he talks about the number of validators, the types of validators. What's the new one?
Well, there's two things. So there's two things that solved it. Was Quick, the Quick update, QUIC, was the big one, which was an upgrade to the entire chain, which allows for a better processing to establish like those downtimes don't happen again based on historical situations where they did. The other thing that's coming up is FireDancer, which is a side-by-side simultaneous client. So you would need both of those clients to go down for any downtime, where now they have a fallback or a failover, and FireDancer gives 1 million transactions per second. So I know we're talking a little bit of technicals here, but I think the big thing to note is that all of the issues that led to Solana downtime are going to be resolved or have already been resolved. And FireDancer Live on testnet is already showing that it's going through this phase now with anticipated rollout in Q1 or Q2 of next year. And the second that rolls out, all of the issues that it previously had could not happen again. Like, just plain and simple.
Yeah,
so
go ahead.
I was going to say, I love the discussion. We have breaking news that I wanted to roll out. Nick,
breaking news coming in right now. What is it, Pio? We're on the edge trying to find out.
So Bunny's going to love this, and all the Bitcoin ordinals haters are going to love this, but Taproot Wizards, founded by Eric Wall and Udi Wertheimer, two OG Bitcoiners, has closed a $7.5 million seed round before the mint, ahead of the mint, led by Standard Crypto. Other huge names like Starkware in the round, Bitcoin Frontier Fund, of course, in the round, among other big-time crypto venture capital organizations. Very, very interesting stuff. 7.5 million, not chump change.
That was a little bit of a letdown of an anticipated breaking news, but it still is.
What?
Congratulations to them for raising funds.
An NFT business raising $7.5 million is a letdown breaking news event?
I don't get out of bed for anything under 30 million. Shout out Shrapnel.
No, it's a big deal that they got it. I'm trying to figure out, like, dude, why haven't they launched yet? Was it because they were closing a funding? And what are they raising funding for?
Whatever the Taproot Wizards business is, I don't think they've disclosed, like, this is X business. They haven't launched, I think, because of the market. Because the market was like not great for Bitcoin ordinals. They probably want to raise think about the Taproot Wizards mint could be like an ass load of money, a ton of money. Ninja Alerts, right? Our buddy Trevor, they're doing 0.02 Bitcoin for their mint. I don't know what the supply is off the top of my head, but that's $700 US per mint. Clemente, you know the supply?
1,500, I believe.
Okay, so that's like a solid amount of capital. Let's say Taproot Wizards comes out with like 5K Taproots or Wizards or 10K Wizards at 0.05 Bitcoin or something. It's going to be a crazy revenue event for them. Crazy. I guess I just never know what Nick will think is a big deal versus not, because I mean, it's
$7.5
million.
It's impressive. Well, I understand it's a significant amount. That is impressive. I'm trying to, what I don't understand is like what my depth of understanding on Taproot is very limited, clearly, because my understanding so far is that they host spaces and they
shower and wizard outfits.
Yeah, shower and wizard outfits. That's the main thing. So it just felt like a lot, but congratulations to them.
There you go. Their mission is to repopulate Bitcoin's 10-year-old wizard village. So there's your company mission, okay?
Is that really what it is?
That's what they wrote. It's obvious. I have to, like, look, I'm sure if we saw the deck that was presented to investors, there would be detail on what the vision is. Eric Wall, the co-founder, is like a badass dev. And actually, Udi's a dev too. So you have two technical co-founders.
So here's an interesting thesis. What I like about this, I don't know what the return on this is, but it sounds like what they're really doing is energizing the developer ecosystem.
Yeah,
which I think Bitcoin does need. Outside of, well, what's the deal with like Lightning protocol, for example? Like, has that fully? It's live, right?
Oh, it's been live. It is functional. I don't think that it can handle the scale that would be necessary for like the whole world to be able to transact with Lightning. But for example, the entire country of El Salvador right now, you can go and buy a pupusa on the street from a pupusa lady with Bitcoin Lightning. Literally, that is not an exaggeration. You can literally do that in El Salvador. Bitcoin's legal tender. The Lightning Network through Strike has basically been integrated into the payment infrastructure of the entire country. I literally transacted on Lightning today. I was moving Bitcoin off of an exchange, off of Strike, into my cold wallet. However, and they're building a video game on Lightning right now. So there's a Bitcoin Lightning based video game that is, promising, like a real game, similar to not at the level of Shrapnel, I'm assuming, but like something trying to be a real game. But the answer is no, Lightning is not where it needs to be like a literal global, billions of people using it every day type of payment platform. It's not there yet.
Me too, boy.
He spelled pupusa wrong.
Well, we can keep talking about pupusas or move on to the next subject, which is, one is not on here. We don't need to talk about the Mad Labs. I actually am working on a post about it, which I think is just a better one. And then eventually I'll do one about Bodoggos. But should we go on to the other subjects that Clemente had queued up?
Absolutely, Nick. Why don't you direct us, Nick? Man the wheel here.
I had to sneeze. Well, we jumped over to the airdrop season beyond, or easy. I guess Easy did. Well, the Mochaverse thing. Luca's Pudgy Penguin Arcade. Let's go with that one.
Okay.
Well, there was a cool comment that he wrote about that one that I thought was actually pretty interesting, which is that you can go license those arcade machines and put them in your own arcade. And if you own a Pudgy, that's how you're going to have to do it. So they're building out these machines that they're going to, if you want to be a licensee, you could, I guess, I don't know if that means that you're just a reseller of those machines. If you're placing them yourself, there's a difference between a reseller and a licensee, as though like a single machine is not much of a business, you know, but it's the dream is that the NFT integration into that is pretty cool. And if they can have like a mobile app, which I would not be surprised if they release, where you can go and claim those digital assets, that's really cool. Which brings me to Mad Lads. Mad Lads is really interesting because they have the wallet component of it, which is the broader picture, right? Like if Pudgy makes a Pudgy app, then they have this Pudgy brand, which is cool. But if you're able to give people the platform of having these sorts of things and white label those machines or create your own sort of system, and someone is going to do it for NFT projects, where essentially they like allow you to white label all of the like, they're going to facilitate partnerships with clothing companies, facilitate partnerships with toy brands and manufacturers and all these other things. Someone's going to be that person that gives the delivery vehicle there. So I think that's like a key thing. What was I going to say?
What if somebody gets injured while they're using the arcade machine? Is that worth the risk, Nick?
I mean, I've definitely seen children get stuck inside of arcade machines. Rare deaths, in fact, actually, where if the head can fit inside of the prize delivery vehicle, it's dangerous, dude. So you do want to be careful about that. The bigger risk is when the toys are so small you can swallow
choke
them.
I mean, you can choke on them. I don't know if I'd want to take the risk. If I was running the show over there, I don't know if I'd want to take the risk with these arcade machines. I feel like someone tips a pinball machine over because they want to win, goes on somebody's foot. They're not walking the same ever again. I just don't know if I would do it.
It is risky. What happens if people, what if someone uses our t-shirt to go and like suffocate or choke somebody to death?
One guy was putting some of our physical collectibles up his butt and he got hospitalized. And so they had to like go through the whole process of remote. Oh, we got Luca on stage. Luca, have you thought about these risks when you're going into building these products?
Well, Pio, you've actually outlined the master plan. The intent is to actually make the arcade machines and hurt people's foot with them. Because when that happens, they'll have to waddle instead of walk with a broken foot, and then they'll actually be able to be a true Pudgy penguin. So I think you figured it out. I think you figured out the master plan.
What a spin, ladies and gentlemen! Take notes right there. You can't teach that. I mean, that's pretty impressive stuff, Nick.
I saw you post a comment, Luca, about licensing this. I don't even know what that means in this context. Like, am I setting up are there going to be a bunch of stores that are dedicated to just Pudgy Penguin machines? Is that for an arcade company? Is that for white label? What's the idea there?
Yeah, so I think the idea is a lot of people scratch their head and be like, well, how does this benefit Pudgy? Well, this is a specific business model that if it actually finds product market fit, I can kind of gate the distribution of these items to specific, NFT holders, right? And so the idea is, God willing, Pudgy arcades take off in a very meaningful way, and I want to distribute them in a greater capacity. I can only distribute through Pudgy Penguin holders who can then distribute through arcades, was kind of the thought. Now, again, it was just somebody who I was making a response. And so the idea is if you were to franchise it, you would franchise it to holders only. I haven't taken any critical thought there, but if it did work, that seems like low-hanging fruits to kind of give to the group.
Well, I like that approach. We're going to be setting up a licensing program for what's the product, Pia?
Drug paraphernalia. So where you can license our volcano bong. Yeah, we're gonna be all over. We're competing with you, Luca. It's head to head. No, but like Luca, what do you make of you're an experienced crypto guy. You've been around the block. You've seen the kind of cycle before. What do you make of us almost front running where everybody expected the cycle to kind of take off? We're kind of early on it. And what about, you know, the kind of volume coming to NFTs right off the bat? I thought that NFTs would probably lag. I guess I'm a little surprised. What do you make of what you're seeing there from just a volume and price action perspective? Are you surprised at all?
Yeah, I think the interesting thing about markets that I've learned, actually being CEO of Pudgy Penguins, I've been able to just be on the Twitter app a lot more frequently and just read all of these smart people's takes. It seems like the market always optimizes for max pain. So what would be max pain? Max pain would actually be us going into a cycle now, because everybody was sidelined thinking that 2024, late 2024 and early 2025 would be the start of the super cycle, right? Like the same thing with, stocks. We all thought it would go lower, and max pain was actually it, just rebounding as quick as it did. And so I actually don't think it's off the table. I think it's pretty surprising. On the NFT side, I also think, I've actually been a firm believer that, NFTs play a huge role in I think the whole crypto market, more so than I think people give it credit for. I actually believe it is the mass market product for crypto, because IP is an amazing way to just Trojan horse your way into an industry, which is, the IP and collectible and fandom industry that has a huge and fervent network of people that are super passionate about it. And I think the discrepancy with digital collectibles and physical collectibles being a $440 billion market cap business and digital collectibles being an $8 billion market cap business, I think that discrepancy is too big, right? Like at the end of the day, digital collectibles are far, at least from my opinion, have a slew of pros that I think are better than physical collectibles. And there's too big of a gap right now. And I think they just got nuked. So I'm actually not too surprised by this. And I'm super excited to see people starting to have some fun again.
Love to hear it, man. And I think you're right. Is the cycle is just kind of coming up faster, probably kicked off by the ETF. Luca, random question: how many Bodoggos you up to, amigo?
Got 21 Bodoggos. So gotta give credit to, there we go. Easy's been trying for a while, and then I got the D's FOMO once I found out he swept, and I said I gotta go and join the party.
Let's go, Luca. That's what we're talking about, amigo. Nick.
Yeah, just to let you know, you've joined the community of holders that dump after 30 seconds. So that's the upside of participating in Solana. You should hop in the Discord sometime and chat with the people. They'll be there for at least like a couple hours before they get rid of their holdings. But in all seriousness, appreciate that.
Yeah, no, that's awesome, Luca. Luca, will Pudgy ecosystem ever have Solana exposure, do you think, like from a NFT perspective? Like, would you either drop something new on Solana or bridge something that's on ETH to Solana?
I wouldn't, I don't think we would bridge. I wouldn't be against having a Solana collection. I actually think I used when I used Solana last, I was trading on Radium and Serum, and it honestly was just a terrible experience in Orca. And then I used this Jupiter exchange for the first time, maybe like 4 or 5 days ago. And I actually think it's changed the entire experience for me. I mean, when I really actually am using Solana now, it is so much of a better experience than what it was 12 months ago, which I think was the last time that I used it. And so I'm actually like extremely bullish on the ecosystem. Obviously, for the sake of where we are today, job's not finished. I have a long ways to go before I think we start introducing new chains and new characters, and we still have a lot of work to do at Pudgy, but I don't see that out of the picture. I actually don't mind, and I'm starting to really appreciate the Solana ecosystem, though I am familiar with what you're talking about, Nick. It's a different culture over there, but it's one that I'm beginning to admire, every single
Luca,
day.
The little Pudgies are on layer 0, correct?
Yes. So when layer 0 opens up Solana, I might just bridge to Solana. So yeah.
We may have to get the little Pudgies over on Sol as soon as that layer 0 support drops.
Unrelated question, but back to the toy machine thing. So do you think that you'll just be able to scan the toy and get an NFT is kind of the concept there with your vending machines?
Yeah, so from the initial vending machine, yes. Like again, the idea is the toys are really just onboarding vehicles to try to get people onto a digitally collecting platform that is Pudgy World. You kind of hit it on the head though when you were talking about I think a couple minutes before you brought me up on stage. To really understand one of the missions at Pudgy Penguins, we are almost in the business. Or part of our underlying missions that I think is not really too public, but I think it's worth noting. I'm really in the business of distributing Web3 and blockchain technology to the world. And if you really think and digest that statement, everything that we do on its face is distributing the Pudgy Penguin and distributing the IP and the characters and the products. But all of that stuff ties into one greater mission, which is really just onboarding people onto the blockchain and getting them familiar with digitally collecting. So the crane machine will have the QR codes, but something that we're really working on right now is, I didn't show it in the video because I want to kind of keep that one for a surprise, but we have a digital 2-player, no redemption of toys, but we're trying to figure out a system where if you win the game, then you get some ticket that's printed out, right? So completely digitally native. If you win, then maybe there's some sort of piece of paper or slip that comes out for like the winner. And then you can kind of integrate there that has nothing to do with, gaining or winning toys. It seems to be more of a complex problem to solve. But the idea is when we do all of these things, it's not just, hey, we're throwing an arcade machine with toys, or hey, we're throwing an arcade machine that has a fun game. How can you translate that experience and that engagement into somebody actually creating a blockchain wallet? Now, are they going to go spend and degen $100,000 on MetaMask? No, that's not the intention. But you want to get them familiar and take them through a step-by-step process, and that kind of being the first couple steps.
The mobile app side of it to me feels like such a key thing. That's why I keep a lot of people I got messages about people from Mad Lads or someone who's like, yo, I bought it when you wrote your article and now it's up to 100 and I sold it. And I'm like, you sold it? Like what? Literally it went up in 2 days and people are just like, I'm out of here. I'll wait.
They're like, perfect.
I'm like, the mission didn't change. Like there was no different thesis all of a sudden. But I think what you all are doing is definitely like one of the key examples of pushing forward on adoption via, in your case, via toys, collectibles, and physical merchandise that people can actually collect and convert into sort of the digital existence. And I see a lot more of that happening right now. And I think that's what, this wave will be all about. I keep sneezing. But yeah, I think this next wave, this run, we're going to see a lot more of that. Like last time, it was really just about us trading JPEGs. And now like there's more people out there, collecting items and there's new onboarding routes. And we only have a few of them. Could even be another way. Like it could be another cycle after that potentially before we have full adoption on that. But to your point, Solana is one area where we've seen like just a great user experience, which I think is really the name of the game. And that's what you all have been trying to do with the toys. So yeah, I mean, the more people operating on that adoption side, the better.
Yeah, no doubt. Luca, thanks for joining the show, man. Anyway, Clemente just texted me, he spilled a bunch of water all over his computer. So ladies and gentlemen, we're going to wrap in a second. The show is done in partnership with Shrapnel. Just one more reminder that we're going to give away 2 more Shrapnel operators today, each worth 0.2 Ethereum. If you purchase an extraction pack or you plan to in the next 24 hours, you can enter by replying to the pinned tweet with a screenshot of your extraction pack. We'll pick 2 winners tomorrow. Remember, operators are 0.2 Ethereum each. If you haven't bought an extraction pack, you can do so now at thenifty.com/shrapnel and use the promo code NIFTY for 30% off. These packs give you early access to the game, prizes, weekly drops, and more that can't yet be revealed. If you've already purchased a heavy pack, comment heavy with your screenshot attached because we're testing something out for a fun activation we're doing soon. Ladies and gentlemen, we do the show Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Eastern time, available on X platform, Twitter Spaces, available on YouTube, available on Apple and Spotify podcasts, wherever you consume your content. We are there. And